Hello everyone and welcome back to yet another one-on-one Seco session. We have with us today Kripa Parekh. Kripa, how are you this afternoon?
I'm doing very well. The market is rocking, so I'm also rocking.
Oh, that's fantastic to hear. So, Kripa, to introduce you to Seco, I'll say a few lines. Seco is a new intriguing platform for the youth which promotes micro-learning by focusing on upskilling through multiple topics. It is a video-first micro-learning based community. Our platform is driven by some of the credible industry experts and professionals like yourself who create meaningful content for our existing and growing 90k plus user base. And guys, to introduce you to Kripa, she is a CFA and FRM certified, having professional experience of almost a decade as a corporate trainer. She is a financial coach and faculty for various B schools. She has been working as a consultant for Bloomberg Terminal Training with some of the leading institutes in Mumbai. Has been exploring and training professionals, and along with this, she has a professional experience of around 3 years in banking and financial industry with the leading banks. So, Krupa, with such experience you carry, I am totally positive that there will be a lot to learn in this one-on-one session from you. We'll be deep diving into the journey that you have had so far, and I'm totally sure that this is something that will give us enough insights. Okay, so proceeding with the Q&A. So first question is, how well do you think that the education system today is providing the youth for financial literacy?
Yeah, so first of all, Aniruddha, thanking you so much for a warm introduction and warm welcome. I'm sure this app is going to help a lot of learners and freshers. So, and looking forward to deliver also some of the insights that I've gained from this professional experience. Yeah, back to your question. The education system has improved over the years. And obviously, we all know that new education policies and new system, it will definitely bring an edge to international syllabus, international programs. We will be putting up ourselves into a global platform. So definitely, with the overall education system, even when I'm talking from a financial literacy perspective, that has also improved a lot. Specifically, the corporations BSE, NSE, RBI, they are providing industrial visits to the freshers, to the starters, to the younger generation, exposing them to the financial world, financial literacy, providing them the insight about the industry. Along with that, today's younger generation is quite fortunate, and specifically, let me give you one example. That example is you guys are working and trying to do lot of thing in the space of skill development, as in Seco itself is one of the prominent example for this, right? You guys are providing wonderful platform where the youth today can not only develop their skills, but along with that they can apply for the employability as well. So as in I would say we have gone very far into the world of financial literacy, and specifically the internet, the information has given a lot of hands-on into this aspect.
Thank you so much, Krupa, for such kind words for Seco. We feel totally grateful for that. And yeah, I can agree with everything you said. I mean, the pace with which the financial markets are progressing and the type of content we see today in even the entertainment industry. I mean, we have heard of a lot of such shows like Scam 1992. We have this movie from Abhishek Bachchan. So almost every sector is focusing now on financial literacy. And I can totally agree with that, because today it is imperative. I mean, if you not save, if you do not invest, then of course you'll be beaten by inflation in the coming time. Totally agreeing on everything that you said. So moving to the second question, Kripa, how would you suggest to improve the education system if you feel that there are still some snags in the education system, although as quoted by you, it is yes, progressing at a good pace. But if you see some snags, in order to fulfill those gaps, what steps should be taken in according to your perspective?
Yeah, Anirudh. So I would say, as in like, when we are talking about the gaps prevail in all the industries. So as it is not only education industry, but yeah, the variance of the gap remains differ. I mean, like, it differs from industry to industry, and we are seeing the gap is like, is quite on a higher variance. But if we currently analyze the fastest growing industries, they have undergone the change. It's only because they have adopted the technology, right? So as in like, even when it comes to the finance education or financial system, we have seen a lot of adoption of the technology, and that technology has given or proved that, like, there won't be any excellence in that industry. So if the technology is blended along with this, then I think the gap can be narrowed down. Along with that, like, the proposed education system is a step towards the change and bridging the gap. Along with that, I would say, I mean, like, the one only and only the positive part about this pandemic is, like, that there is no option, but we have to adopt the technology, right? As in like, so if being like, a positive, if we take the pandemic as positive aspect, then this is definitely going to help in bridging the gap. Along with that, as in like, there are a lot of information and everything is available. People have easy access to them. That is also making the change, and these gaps will be like, bridged upon if we work properly.
Totally agreeing on everything. Technology is something that to which we have no substitute. We have to adopt to that.
Yes.
Okay, so brilliantly answered, Kripa. Coming to the next one, you've got an opportunity to view that. I'm so sorry, this was a rapid fire question. So sorry. So the third question is, how should one actually start his or her journey in the domain of finance? I mean, you carry such a beautiful experience. Would like to know some insights from you as to how you started and how would you recommend for others to start their investing journey?
Yeah, so this basically definitely, Anirudh, will have multiple answers to it, right? Because this
Right.
is something that, like, you can begin the journey at any point in time as a fresher, as a professional. So I beg a pardon, but definitely there will be multiple answers. But with my experience, I would to put forward that, first of all, the most important aspect is the inclination towards this industry. The numbers, it's basically the numbers should excite one to be in the industry. That doesn't mean, like, when I'm talking about numbers, people might think that you should be a good mathematician or you should have a flair for maths. Not, I'm not just talking about that. Like, as a person, you should be, the numbers should excite you. If that is there, then definitely you can step into the domain of finance. Now moving towards and putting a foot forward into the financial industry, then financial industry itself is quite organized industry, right? And it is very vast. So when I'm talking about, and with the many folds into it, as a student, if I'm pertaining to any student, then they should start with a formal education. So they might think of going an undergraduate course like business accounting and finance, bachelor's in accounting and finance, BBI. They can opt for the courses in finance, which are very well available into the universities. As in, like, nowadays each and every university is working on it and providing those courses. After gaining some of the theoretical knowledge in the undergrad program, definitely one should go in for some postgrad programs. These postgrad programs are specifically provided by business schools. Let's say, for example, MBA in finance, or maybe a post graduation program in finance. So that will complete your formal education. While having this education, or while during the course of this education, it is very important for a person to start getting a practical exposure, as in, like, specifically when we talk it from a perspective of B-School, they are providing a lot of exposure, but along with that you need some robust practical exposure in the specific area of finance, such as, like, banking, financial research, financial markets, insights of financial instruments. Maybe you would be inclined towards taxation, so on and so forth. So the list is exhaustive. It is the time actually to step into some internship, some, like, a job market where you have that basic knowledge, and then after you get deeper into this financial ocean, right? So, as in, like, this is how one should start a journey, and keep on upgrading, keep on learning the dynamics of the industry, and this is how you can afloat in the industry.
All right. Thank you so much for enlightening the entire path right from the beginning, like when a person starts in school and to the industries where he start exposure via internships or something. Greatly answered, Krupa. All right. So coming to the fourth question, what tips would you like to share for a person to get conditioned in the field of finance?
As I mentioned earlier, as to be fascinated. So, as in, like, it has to be the inclination, the passion towards the number, towards the analytical skill, logical reasoning should be there if you want to stay and afloat into field of finance. Again, this is a dynamic industry, right? As in, which is very well dependent on technology, and it is actually an integral part of all the businesses, right? So, as in, like, finance is not limited to banking, finance is not limited to stock market, finance is not limited to mutual funds, right? As in, like, whatever industry you are talking about, you require maybe a financial manager or a person who is handling the treasury, right? So basically, if you want to get conditioned into this industry, you can opt for other industry as well and stay in finance. My take would be creativity and innovation. Creativity and innovation is the key to get success in multiple industry. And this is the demand, and this is the right now requirement to, like, be at the edge, right? So one should always keep on learning, upgrading new analytical skill set, and develop new skill set along with the timing and technology. And again, I would appreciate, like, the apps or maybe the initiatives taken by Seekho, Udemy, NPTEL. We are getting the best out of our, like, a lot of industry experts, professors and all, and that allows the person to be on the top of it.
Okay, to summarize everything, we can simply say that the passion is the key first. There has to be an inner interest that should push the person forward to keep upgrading and keep learning new sets. A person should never settle, basically. Should keep exploring new industry, should have more and more experiences and more skills to add in the portfolio. Okay, definitely taking that to the bank. Okay, so the next one is a beginner should look at what sort of markets to start his or her investment journey. Like, we have a lot of markets: share market, stock market, commodities market, future and indices markets. Which one do you think is the most apt one for a beginner?
Anirudh, this is an amazing question and a relevant question at this point in time, because if you look at all the markets, as in, like, they are, and specifically when I'm talking about the stock market, they are at a high time, and, like, the highest point of time. So I'm sure the viewers would be very happy to listen to this, and I'm also thanking you for asking this question. So, as in, like, I have been working in this industry from past decade, and like, to give, I come across this question very often, right? How do you start? From where to start? And what tips and should be there in your investment journey? And so the answer has also evolved across the time. But one quote that I want to put it over here is: start early, start small, and stay long. This is the mantra staying in any financial market. Okay, and we are having that facility that we can even start with a basic amount of maybe a 500 rupees or 1,000 rupees, right? So be it a commodity market, or be it a stock market, or be it a mutual fund, right? So as in, like, that the mantra is very simple: start early, start small, and stay long. With the technology and innovation at this point in time, investors are fortunate enough to have virtual platforms. So, as in, like, we have gaming platforms, we have virtual gaming platforms, but there is one side where you get this virtual markets as well, and you can invest virtually into this markets where you can get hands-on experience of the markets on a real-time basis, right? But along with that, as it is virtual, you are not burning your fingers. Once you get a hands on it, once you get to understand this market properly, you learn from the masters, you learn the mistakes that is done by the masters, and you don't repeat those. Once you get starting that confidence, you should start working into the stock market. You should actually get into the stock market according to your risk-taking capabilities. Obviously, the trading know and how will definitely get more clear and more understandable when you are actually into the game, when the actual money is at the stake, right? And definitely you will reap the benefits for the long term.
I totally resonate with everything you said. I myself was 14 years old when I started, investing in the stock market. And I believe that there are a lot of simulation platforms out there, like you just mentioned, the virtual platforms. We have Money by Money Control. We have, something from ICICI Direct. So these are some things that have really helped me. So I can totally resonate with everything you just said. Brilliant advices, Kripa. Okay. So the next one would be, what are the good full-time career options in finance? Like, we have a lot of people who take this as a side job, working as a part-time investor, just sits half an hour or 1 hour a day in front of the laptop, viewing some stocks and investing thereon. But there are some full-time career options as well. So throw some light on that.
Yeah. So you can take example of me. I'm also into full-time career for finance. Yeah, but as in, like, as I mentioned, that there are finance is again an ocean and multiple industry it has. So you can actually get into every industry where there will be a role of finance. Apart from you can think as a financial risk manager, you can think as a financial analyst, you can think as a portfolio manager or a fund manager of any mutual fund or a hedge fund. You can be on the role of any role of banking operation. Finance is something which is an essence of any business, right? So you can, once you have a knowledge of finance industry, or once you know the financial market, you can put your foot forward anywhere. In fact, finance is not only limited to this specific corporates. It's basically helping you in your personal growth as well, right? Whatever you're doing, whatever you're working for, right? As in, if you have insights about a finance domain, it makes a lot of difference. And specifically, if you look at all the CXOs, I would rather say CXOs, as in, they have to acquire, or they have acquired some kind of financial knowledge. And so I would say, as in, I don't have a particular answer for this question, but I would say that finance is somewhere that you can make a role out of it. Rather, finance is making a role for you.
Okay, so the list is so big that you cannot cover it in this session. So I can only assume that it is a very lucrative field where everyone should try their hands on, because given so many career options and so diversification in the courses and the things that we see in this industry, I can only assume that it is very big, very dynamic, and as well as very lucrative.
Right.
All right. Okay, Kripa. So moving forward, what is the role of the key finance personnel in the organization? I mean, we keep hearing these terms like the chief risk officer, the chief finance officer. So what role do they play in any organization overall?
Yeah, so Anirudh, let's understand from a very basic and a layman language perspective. So that makes the viewers also very clear, and
Sure.
specifically, like it doesn't get into any complexity or any sort of ambiguity, right? So
Totally.
a role of a finance personnel is one of the essential and integral, and it is basically a piece of chain between the savers and the users, right? So as in, like when I'm talking about procuring the funding, or I'm talking about channelizing that funding into the assets, or it is specifically when I'm talking of a CFO. He is specifically responsible for channelizing the funds from the savers to users, okay, and specifically it has to be at an adequate time, adequate amount, and minimum cost. So this is what is the role. This looks very maybe in a nutshell, but there's a very bigger role that they are performing, because they have to consider all the aspects, and once they consider all the aspects, they start making investing decisions for the firm, and that is ultimately going to maximize the wealth of the firm and the shareholders.
All right. So basically, he's the acting link between the people out there, the financial institutions out there, and the company. He opens up or paves the way for the company to give them the right channels to invest and to raise the right amount of funds at the right time, and at the same time helping the economy multiply by
Right,
increasing the wealth of the shareholder and moving the economic barometers up. All
right.
right, Krupa.
So
So
he
the next question.
helping
Sure.
all stakeholders at all levels.
Right. All right. So the next question, Krupa, is we always feel like investing should have a right time. So what do you think, that is investing always the right thing to do, like in all times, but or is it that should be refrained from it at times?
Anirudh, that as I'm sure that you are investing into the stock market, you might have heard this, that investing in a right stock at wrong time, you may lose, and investing in a wrong stock at right time, you might win the or you might earn the earnings 10 folds or 12 folds, right? So let's say, I mean, that when we talk about finance, or when we talk about money, then in a broader perspective, the money have only two types of utilization. Either you spend it, or you invest it. Okay. Now, when I'm saying, so the two categories of people are spenders and investors. When I'm talking from a perspective of spender, the spender is actually enjoying the utility of that particular spending activity. Let me give you an example, that you're going on a vacation. Okay, so vacation brings a lot of lot of memories with you. On the other hand, if you are an investor, you're foregoing that opportunity to get those memories. But after all, at particular point in time, you as an investor wants to go and spend the same amount and same luxury on that vacation. If your investment doesn't fetch that opportunity, that you can't go on that vacation as a spender had gone, then there is no point of investment. With this example, what I want to make a point over here is that your investment at any given point on time should be aligned with your financial goal, and should fetch that minimum return that you can spend on your financial goal. If you can't spend that on your financial goal, then this is maybe not the right time to invest. I hope I was able to convey what I wanted to say.
Totally. So if everything is going right according to the path that we have designed for ourselves, that these are our financial goals, and
Yeah.
if the investment opportunity is matching that, only then is it the right time to invest. And
Yes.
of course, if we are choosing the right stocks at the wrong time and the wrong stocks at the right time, of course, the total objective may be reversed. Totally
Yeah.
agreeing on everything according to my and your experience.
Yeah.
All right. So the last question of this Q&A is, how well do certifications such as FRM and CFA add to the knowledge horizon of a finance aspirant? I mean, you yourself are so decorated with all these certifications. So I'd like to know that, according to your experience, how has that helped you?
Yeah, so definitely it has helped me in my professional career. It has helped me in growing what I am today. Uh, uh, and I must say, as in that these are very well recognized certificates in the employer community. Okay, so as in and specifically, I would say not only in India but across the globe. For example, financial risk management or financial risk manager is recognized in more than 70 countries, right? So as in this gives you a expansion when it comes to a global platform, and as they are very well recognized. Along with that, the certification majorly requires professional experience into that industry, into that pertaining industry. So the bridge which we were talking earlier, that maybe the students are not employable because they do not have that professional experience, that can be very well connected and very well bridged over here. So that makes the certification more attractive. And as as I discussed earlier, that that having a formal education in the pace of finance is desired, because this industry keeps on changing, keeps on evolving, and these certifications are some certification that they also keep on improving every day according to the industry. So apart from having a formal education through the certification, and which is very well recognized into employer community, one should think about this. Along with that, it helps in building the community, because they have their own charter, they have their own group where you can connect with some same wavelength people, right? And you can actually share your experience. You can get a major job opportunity as well, because you are connecting to the larger world, right? So this is how I would like to say on this aspect, that having this professional certification makes lot of.
All right. So I myself was thinking of pursuing such certification programs, and now you have given me the right push. Like, okay, yeah, so I'm definitely going for some of those, because yeah, learning from the books is just one thing to that.
Yeah.
Building community of professionals working together, learning from together, that is the ultimate thing that you get into after pursuing such courses. I would definitely love to have that, being around people like you. All right. So that's it for the Q&A session group, and now we have a very fun-filled session that is called rapid fire. We'll be throwing a question at you, and you will get a maximum of 5 seconds to answer, so don't keep us waiting. All right. And, okay. So the first question is coming right. Yeah. All right. So the first question is, the first word that pops up in your mind when you hear the word finance.
Fascination.
Fascination. I'm fascinated by your answer. All right. The second one is, what will be the first question that you'd ask Warren Buffett if you get the chance?
His investment strategies.
Yeah, investment strategies. All right. That is something that everybody would love to know, being billionaires. All right. The third one is, you've got an opportunity to view the trading account of any investor you choose. Who would the chosen person be?
Then the list will be long.
Yeah, but first thing that comes to your mind, the first name that comes to your mind.
Yeah, so I would like to see the portfolio of Ramesh Damani.
Ramesh Damari, interesting. All right. So the fourth one is, which famous person would you like to be your neighbor?
Maybe Bill Gates.
Bill Gates. Any reasons for that?
So basically, when you're talking about the neighbor should include the family, and my son is actually fascinated about him.
All right. So all because of the influence on your son. Okay, okay, okay. The final one, and this one is the signature question, Kripa. This is something that we ask every other creator and every thought leader that works with us. And the question is, what is the one lesson in your life that you share with everyone, or would you like to share with everyone?
Take the life as it comes, because the things which we plan, sometimes it doesn't go accordingly, specifically as in you can see the situation today itself, in today's scenario itself, that pandemic has changed a lot of things, right? So as in one should always keep updating, keep learning. Whenever the change come across, you should embrace the change. That is very important, and that piece of advice I also carry myself, and I would like to give to the industry aspirant, that change and volatility is something that you should always see the upside of it rather than the downside of it.
That makes me remember a quote from Bruce Lee. He said that be like water. You put water into a cup, it becomes a cup. You put water into a jug, it becomes a jug. So the same is the advice from you. Be flexible and be adaptable to whatever changes the life is bringing on to you. Brilliant, Kripa. It was absolutely lovely talking to you. We got to learn so much from you, and I definitely think that this particular session is going to help millions out there who are trying to start their journey into finance, or maybe even learn some life lessons and stay motivated in the world of finance. You've taken some time off your very busy schedule, and that's a really appreciable thing to say. Thank you so much, Kripa. It was a brilliant conversation, and I wish the very, very best to you.
Definitely, I giving back to the industry aspirant is the most satisfying job one can do. So thank you for giving that chance and connecting to the younger generation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kripa. It was lovely. Have a good day.
Yeah, thank you.